This is Mastering Mathematics with your teacher, Karen Weston.
Good evening, Antigua Barbuda. Welcome again to another in the series, Mastering Mathematics. This is a program sponsored by the Ministry of Education using its EBU unit and Center for Mathematics Research and Warrior Education, and also ABS Television. Again, we aim to bring mathematics right into your bedrooms because we want you to be mathematicians, and it must be a doorstep experience. As you will recall, we started last week where we once again introduced you to the laws. We want you to understand that mathematics is in a field, and that field can be considered as a society. And of course, one of the things that keep a society running is that we must have law and order. And so we started with our laws. First one we gave you was commutative law. And we said it did not matter the order in which we add or multiply numbers, the answers will be the same. Again, we said that that rule did not work for subtraction and division. We also spoke to you about the associative law. And in that, we said the order in which we add or multiply numbers in a group of twos does not affect the answer. And then we told you about the distributive law. And we're going to spend some time with that because as far as I'm concerned, it's the technical tool that is used in so many of our topics that I need to make certain that it is at the forefront. Of course, we told you that for mathematics, the blocks that we use, we call them numbers. And we know we have the different number systems, and our counting numbers, our integers, our natural numbers, and all of these, guess what? You can access these. You can come to the Center for Mathematics Education, and for a very small fee, we can put them on your memory cards, we can put them on your tablets, or you can buy a disc and you can have whatever series you want. So in your own time, you too can learn mathematics. Okay? Also, apart from that, we will be on our website where you can go www.masteringmathematics.info to get any of the CXC examination papers, and of course, from the CXC website itself, www.cxc.org. And from the examination department, Mr. Myrick Swift will be more than pleased as long as you have your memory stick to put some of these past papers on and you can practice at home. I also want to take some time to tell you about some of the things that has been, like we're calling the structure or infrastructure for mathematics, because it is a program that has been carefully crafted. Again, we talk all the time about not having sufficient mathematics teachers, but it does not mean that the program cannot function. And I'm appealing to our principals to make certain, because we have shown you that the books, the Board of Education has very carefully ordered our Oxford Mathematics Book 1, Book 2, Book 3. So the students are in possession of resources that they can use to get the mathematics program going despite not having a teacher. Let me say that. Okay? Again, we have sent to the schools, we have broken down the topics term by term so that they can see. So for example, in term 1, Form 1 students should now be working numbers, sets, angles, and decimals. You can come to the center, and parents, I will give you your topics. Your children or child would have had the textbook, and you can be the facilitator for them. So it does not mean that because a physical person is not standing in front of them, they cannot continue with the mathematics program. We have numbers, sets, angles, decimals. That is the topic for Form 1 that should be covered in the first term. And each of these topics should take 3 weeks. Form 1 has the textbook and everything is explicit. And this is where we can teach them from now to be independent learners. If they're still in trouble, they can visit me here at the center and I will help them. Okay, they can plan a day even if they come. I'm here as early as 7:30, so there's nothing to say that they can't see me. Form 2, again, we have the Oxford Mathematics Book 2, and in Term 1, they should be working on mapping, negative numbers, and statistics. The language is clear, it's easily laid out, and again, it is time to show that we can make our students independent learners and to give responsibility to the people we are calling prefects, because you know among the fifth formers that somebody will be free at some time. Anything, even those second formers, they can come to me and I can see and set them up for the week. 4 weeks for each topic. Again, for the second formers, topics, mapping, negative numbers, and statistics. And I am aware that in one of our schools, the second formers that are now without teachers, okay? Third formers too. And the same thing applies with our third formers, okay? We have the Oxford Mathematics and the topic, well, they will be doing the CCSLC modules. And the module that they're working on right now is number and number sense. And I'll be touching some of these topics for the next few weeks because they are doing fractions, decimals and percentage, area, ratio and proportion, symbols and equations. 2 weeks for each of these topics. There's a second module which is conscious consumer arithmetic. So they're the conscious consumer and the topic is thus consumer arithmetic. So the things are here. If you don't know what your students or your child should be working on, please call me. My phone number again is 783-6971 and we will help you. Again, there is a syllabus right from the Curriculum Development Office in the Ministry of Education, and parents, you can access one of these for a little fee too. You go to the Curriculum Development Unit. And I know people like to say everything, yes, you have to pay for these things because we have to buy the ink, we have to buy the paper, we have to buy all these things to put them together. And only in Antigua people think you don't pay for these things. But I can tell you, I lived in England for 4 years, and I think the only thing you don't pay for is the air you breathe, all right? So we have to come on board with the first world countries to understand what it is when we're talking about education. Education is a business. And I can also tell you that from the Oxford Mathematics, there we can have exercises. If you don't have any, come and seek me, and you can get your resources. So do not sit down and say, they don't have a teacher and we don't know what to do. Come and find us first and phone me, all right? Because, yes, I do drive sometimes, but my car is giving so much trouble these days that I'm not certain when I'm coming off to you, okay? But don't sit, don't wait until the end of the year, and then we hear all these things. My child didn't have a teacher for so come and attack us now, all right? We're here waiting. And I hope that in coming to your house, at this fashion, that we can make your experience for mathematics a better one and to show you that you can do it, okay? So today we continue, and of course I have Miss Grant right here with me again. And just before I start, I want to hail up my people at the mechanic shop that gets me wheels, okay? And that is Benji's Mechanic Shop. All the guys there, thank you very much for taking care of me when I'm stranded in the middle of nowhere. You come running. And for Brent, who cooks such lovely conchs water, oh, that's lovely. So I have good food too. So I am ready to go. And now we're going to start our mathematics lesson. Are we ready for the maths? Right. Because what we're going back to just to bring you up, is the distributive law. Last week I said I gave you what? A practical account. So we're talking about a bath and you're having bleach and you throw the water and the things would go inside. Now, when we talk about the distributive law, okay, the distributive law, very simple. It says for any sum of number where we have the distributive law, it states that multiplication distributes over addition. So for example, if we have our numbers A, open bracket, and it's B, and it's plus C, then we would say the operation would entail that it is A, and then it is times B, plus, again, it is A, and it is times C. All right? And so we tell our children very simply that everything inside the bracket must be multiplied by the number outside. So for example, if I had 5 times, and in a bracket I had 3 plus 4, to get that answer, we would then be saying it's equal to 5 times 3 plus 5 times 4. All right? So that the number outside must be multiplied by everything inside. Okay. And we know right away when we're doing that, it's going to be 3 5s, 15, and it's plus 4 5s, 20. And then we're going to get our answer to be 35. Okay? Now, it also works if we had a number. So I don't want to say it just distributes over addition, because it does the same thing too for subtraction. If I had this number, and it is 3 times, and I had open bracket, and I had 8 minus 4, close bracket, my solution would be it's equal now to 3 times 8, and it's minus 3 times 4. All right, so we would be getting it is 24 minus 12, and so our answer here is equal to 12. That's our distributive law. Okay? Now, the problem comes later for our distributive law when we get into the other branch of mathematics, which we call algebra. So I want to tell you from now, keep it in your brains, that the distributive law does not just sit in a vacuum or just works when we have these numbers, but then it works when we're doing things like factorization and multiplying other things, simplifying, especially when it comes to algebra. So please make certain that you know it's a tool used in our algebraic exercises. I'm going to send you on a little break because guess what? I'm going to work you so hard right now. We are going to be looking again. Last time I gave you the sequence in which operations are produced or are done in terms of saying multiplication, division, addition, subtraction, which one is done first. But you were just given these things with no working, all right? And this today, we're going to test ourselves to see, do we really understand when somebody says that we're using the law and it is bad maths? That is what you're going to prove to me when I come back, because I like this text from Gray and Lane, where he gives us enough examples to make certain that when we're finished, we're comfortable. This year is not too much about preparing you to say, you must pass an exam. Passing the exam is going to come. But right now, we must fortify you. We must give you the tools. So it's really, we're looking at the mechanics involved in working and in studying mathematics. And that is how I'm going to empower you. But before I work you so very hard, I'm going to send you on a break. Go and get your little water, bathroom talk, or anything. Call your neighbor, tell them that you're going to prove right now that you can work the sums that people are saying is so difficult. See you in a minute.
Be sure that you're working in the same units of measure when performing calculations. If a problem involves inches, feet, and yards, be sure to make the appropriate conversions so all of your values are in the same unit of measure. For example, change all values to feet. When asked to show work or justify your answer, don't be lazy. Write down everything about the problem, including the work you did on your calculator. Include diagrams, calculations, equations, and explanations written in complete sentences. Now is the time to show off what you really can do with this problem.
Don't look on what I cannot do. Focus on what I can do. I may not say what I do, but I can hear and feel it as strongly.
I may not hear, but that does not and should not affect my ability to learn and to function in the real world.
I am a gifted student. I need the opportunity to soar. Support me in my climb to higher levels of learning.
Some of our children have special educational needs. They have a right to an education. So, let us teach them the way that they learn and help them to achieve their full potential.
Right, so we are back. We've done our laws. And I'm just going to pause from that for a while and get into the sequencing. I'm of the view every time. It is not the mathematic concepts people don't know, but it's the little things that fail us so badly. And you know where they come from? The adding, the multiplying, the dividing, and the subtraction. Because we don't know when to perform what. Okay, so I'm going to test you today to see what is here. And Miss Grant is here too, and she's going to work them because she's going to show her children that this is something mommy can do, so you must be able to do it. Aisha is here too, and although she thinks that she's at the back, I'm going to call her name so that her children also knows that she's working and can help them when the time comes. So here we go. And don't talk about Jetta because he's just Superman. He loves mathematics, okay? So here we go, and this is what we want the solution to. If I gave you, and it was 3 plus 5, and it is times 2, what would the answer be? What would the answer be equal to? And the first thing we're going to say, what's the first thing that we have to think about before we do something like this? And we start telling ourselves, this follows the rule for BODMAS, right? Do we have any brackets? No. Do we have the word of? No. Do we have any division? No. So what do we have? Multiplication. We have multiplication. So what are we going to do about that?
Multiply 5 by 2.
So again, we are going to put in our imaginary bracket. That's right. Okay? Our imaginary bracket, and we know that that is where we should start. So continue. So I would write back my 3 plus 10.
This is equals to 13.
13. And that's the answer. All right? So it's not working the first number you meet and then the second one. There is a rule. And I'm going to send Miss Grant to teach a lot of you these things too. And I sure too. All right? Now, let's see. Because they don't know, I have some difficult ones for them. All right? Let's see. And then so we're going, what would be the answer if we had 3 times 6 minus 5? Talk to me about that one. What would we be doing?
Multiplication first.
Multiplication first. So again, we can always put up our little bracket. And so what are we saying?
It's 3 times 6 is 18.
18 minus 5
is equal to 13.
Equal to 13. Aisha, is that right? Is that right, Aisha? Yes. Oh, she named Noddy. Oh my gosh, I'm going to have to take out of that mode because her children are listening too. Okay? Now let's expand it because we're getting these things right and it is so simple. All right? Now suppose we had, and we're taking this one, and it is 7 times 5, 7 times 5, and it is minus 2, and it is plus 4 times 6. 4 times 6. And again, I'm getting my examples from the book Gray and Lane, and we're working on these to see exactly how do we use the sequencing that we're talking about that operates from the rule of BODMAS, okay? And if somebody's joining us for the first time, what would you tell them that those acronym means? BODMAS.
Bracket.
B stands for the bracket.
O is off. D is divide.
Yes.
Multiply.
Right.
A is addition.
Right.
S is subtraction.
All right. Age is just a number. You can learn mathematics anytime, any point, okay? Do not say you didn't have a good foundation. All you want is somebody passionate enough to say, I want to teach you. And you just drop sit down right away and you learn the things you didn't learn for 55 years in a day. All right? So here we go. So I have given this example, and we have 7 times 5 minus 2 plus 4 times 6. How are we going to approach this one? We put in our imaginary brackets. And you see, teachers, that's what. You tell the children these things, they're listening to you, and they will use the vocabularies that you're using. Don't say they can't talk, they can't communicate. Now, hear Miss Grant when she uses the words, okay? We're putting in our imaginary brackets and be modeling for those students in the classroom because they're waiting to be taught, okay? So we put them around the multiplication. Okay, and what are we going to do after this? Here, but what are the elements that I'm going to put in that imaginary bracket? Okay, Jetta, are you going to help her at this point in time? I don't care if you're doing the camera. What are we going to do? No, all right, so this is where now, and that is why we will have our people, because people think that just because you say something that everybody understands, okay? And we said right away it's addition, subtraction, and multiplication, division, and all these things. But what my student guests, I believe, are not seeing is the fact that when we have 35, it means positive 35. Okay? When we have 35, it means positive 35. So that this is understood, okay? So it's 35 plus 24. Thank you. So it's now 35 plus 24. And we still have outside the bracket negative 2. So, teachers, please do not forget that things we take for granted and think that, well, they should know. No. We assume that they know, but not all the time, okay? When we write 5, there's really a plus 5 there, but we don't take it with them because only when we're actually teaching and saying directed numbers, we take it there all the time, okay? So again, so the addition will be done. And you see, it only takes 2 minutes just to juggle the children's brain, and then they will get it. So yes, we get right back into the addition. And so for the addition, it will be the 35 plus 24. And what would this be equal to?
59.
So it's 59 minus 2 equals to 57. Boy, we're taking our time, making certain, because that is why they always come and say the exam was easy and I did everything on the paper. But it's not did everything that's important, is how it was done. All right? And again, we always have to obey the rules and the laws for that, okay? And we're going to take our time to make certain that these putties are in, because I believe, but just forget about talking, writing about an exam, but give you the technical aspect for mathematics, and we are going to do better. We will do better. So, this is just a taste of things to come, because this time we will be practicing. I'm not going to leave it with you for no homework. I'm going to walk with you. I'm going to be beside you, and we're going to work them here. And then that even when the telly is off, you're sitting, you're waiting for your daddy or for your mommy to come to pick you up, or you're just at home, just scribble some of these things and give yourself. And you know what's the biggest thing of all? Is having your little sister sitting beside you and saying, but mommy, I can do what Dorothy's doing and she's 16 and I'm so little. That is what challenge them, because we're going to make certain that we correct and take the fear out of teaching mathematics. It has been so very good coming into your rooms, coming into your houses, and I hope my friend whose bedroom I visit so often is quite pleased to see me back there. We will be back tomorrow, because guess what? We have some more. Because by the time we finish, yes, in 2 weeks, you will be able to do these things. Have a good evening, and may God bless you.
Join us next time for another in the series, Mastering Mathematics, a production of the Education Broadcasting Unit in the Ministry of Education and the ABS TV.